I'm American Grayson. This is Pure Politics. We're joined by Peter Boykin from GoRight. Could you tell me a little bit about what GoRight is?
GoRight's the misconception is GoRight is about just becoming like a Republican, but it's more about going right. It's going right, doing right, being right, sort of like Melania Trump's "Be Right" campaign on steroids with a little bit of gayness in it thrown in. So
It's like a gay conservative kind of thing?
no, it's for everybody, honestly. I did create a new organization called Triad Patriots that is LGBTQS, Infinity Loop, blah, 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 straight included. And, but Go Right is more like a movement. All the people and I've kind of created around the time, but, all the people that kind of walked away, the whole walk away thing. Well, one thing you want to do is you want them to walk away, but where did you want them to go? Direction, it's go right. So we want to make sure all those people who did walk away or anybody who's left the left continue to go right. Not too far right, but they go right enough in their mind, their spirit and how they do things and how they work on stuff. So you don't necessarily have to be a Republican or a libertarian, or you can quite literally be a Democrat as far as I'm concerned. I did talk to the Democrat representative that took the hydrochloroquine, if you remember that story a few months back, and everybody jumped on her. I called her office. I called her, and she actually called me right back. It was her. And I talked to her about it. I said, I know everybody probably wants you to turn Democrat, from Democrat to Republican, but I know that you probably can't win if you're a Republican. I'm happy that you're a Democrat that's willing to work with the Republicans, which is nothing wrong with that. And we do have to realize in certain areas, a Republican's never going to win, and it's probably going to be impossible. So the best we can opt for is a Democrat that'll work with Republicans. And I'm not talking a rhino or a dino or whatever it is, just somebody who's willing to compromise, just like Donald Trump was really willing to compromise with both sides. Just people didn't want to do it.
I think that's a really great idea, but could you name any examples of a Democrat who fits this mold?
Like a Democrat that's kind of working with Republicans?
Yeah.
No, I don't have as many, not in this era. That's the problem. Because they have really made it a we got to win kind of event. And that's a problem because there was a time when, yes, Republicans and Democrats were playing the same game. But the problem is the Republicans play basketball. The Democrats play football. Nobody's playing the right game anymore. Nobody's slapping hands at the end of the day going, good game. There's no compromise. And who loses at the end of the day? That's America. So I'm hoping that we can get more Democrats to really, they need to take back their party too. The Democrats of yesterday, the liberals, the Combs, the Alan Combs,
the Dixiecrats.
The old day Democrats that were all about about classical liberalism, which is a lot of Republicans are now kind of classical liberals. That's why I switched the game where people say liberalism is a problem in America. No, liberalism isn't the problem. Leftism is the problem. Going far extreme is the problem. And if the Democrats could save their party, they need to pull their people back toward the middle. The Republicans are saving themselves by moving toward the middle, and the Democrats are moving far left, yet they call us far right. We're not far right when we're in the middle. We're middle. All these far right organizations are always calling out like gays for Trump and blah, blah, blah. There are some that we're far right organizations. No, we're not. We're actually in the moderate middle. Any organization that's recognizing gays and stuff like that is very moderate middle, definitely not far right. But the left is moving so far left that anything on the right is far right to them. It's
you're more of a liberal, I would probably put out there, but a liberal in the historical terms, not a modern day one. Like you said, they're incredibly far left. And the fact that you're just like a regular liberal, you're pro-gay, obviously, you're doing this go right thing. And it's all just because the radical left has shifted so far. So even though you're more of a centrist, left-leaning in a way, they say that you're not far enough left, and therefore you're as far right as I am. Is that correct?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, honestly, I still consider myself a independent conservative. And it's easy to say conservative because people have different mindsets when it comes to conservatism. What I'm trying to conserve is I'm trying to preserve and conserve America and what works best with America, which you can break it down to you're conservatively progressive or you're progressively conservative at the end of the day. The main point is to understand that we do need to have some change, but we have to have change that works for all people. And honestly, you can't sit on the old school conservatism, very far right conservative side. And I'm not just talking about the gay issue. I'm talking about just other things in general. We have to learn how to compromise, because at the end of the day, the only way we're going to get things better in America and make America great is with compromise. And
I'm going to push back on that. I disagree wholeheartedly. It seems that there is a very angry political party, the far left Democrats, and they've roped a lot of Republicans in with them, that they will never compromise. And they keep telling the other side to compromise. So it's an endless loop of losing, because one side wants to compromise and the other side says no compromise, my way or the highway.
Oh, I'll say I completely agree with that. I mean, the left keep getting their way. They constantly keep getting their way. These new bills, these stimulus bills, they've helped us. They've helped me out. They've helped my parents out. But yet the left has gotten every single thing that they wanted. And they're going to continue. And I think it's another reason why they're bringing all the migrants over here right now. And they're not even checking them for coronavirus, because it's just a way to continue the whole pandemic. And the Democrats and the left will just continue creating bills, and keep getting all their wish lists. They'll get everything they want. And sadly, if they don't stop or change or do something to this, we're not going to be the America that we're used to, our founders established. We're already quite literally like other countries have become. Other countries look to us in a beacon of light, and our light is very much dimming, and it's pretty sad. People who fought and died for this country probably turned over in their graves. Our forefathers are probably like, what the hell? I don't know.
Now, you brought up the migrant issue, and it seems that it's more than just coronavirus with the illegal aliens coming over and even the legal immigration that they're pushing. It's more of a demographic replacement in a way. They can look at these different groups coming in, and it's just a fact of reality that people need to be cognizant of. When Mexicans come in, they're very racially loyal. Asians, same thing. Black Americans, racially loyal. And we keep bringing in more immigrants, and they're not voting in the interests of America. They're voting in the interests of their racial group.
Yeah. What I think the Chinese were just talking about, how they were talking about the white liberal is a problem in America, and they're exploiting it. And I drive around in North Carolina, and I see a lot of regentrification of areas that would be considered, white liberal areas. When they put these Black Lives Matter signs in their front porch, it's more like a deterrent. They just don't want Black people messing with them. They don't want Black people in their neighborhoods. Leftist, liberal white people are the racist people out there, honestly. They disguise it. They claim that they don't like black, I love blacks or whatever, when they really don't. They don't want to have anything to do with Black people. And you got to think about it. They're bringing in migrants into this country to replace the Black people in this country. But in that, they're also going to replace themselves. Oh, they are. I broke this down before. If you own a business, if you notice, I worked in a lot of kitchens, for different restaurants. In the older days, the kitchens had a Black crew. Now the crew is mainly migrants, Spanish, illegals, whatever. It's not just a money thing. It's a business thing. If you own a business, especially if you're a white person that owns a business, If you have black people and you've hired black people, you stand the risk of getting your business taken away from you because God forbid you say one bad thing that a black person takes wrong and they will take your business from you. So now you bring in migrants, immigrants, so you don't really feel are superior or of even the same mindset because you don't speak the same language, even though those people are very smart. You bring them in and you have no fear of being shut down by saying something wrong to them. In fact, the migrants coming in are very racially against blacks as well. So they just, a few years ago had blackface on their stamps, and they are even racist to their own people. Like what they're bringing here to this country are black considered to the Mexicans that are over there, that are the white Mexicans that you see on Univision and stuff. So, but if you own a business, yeah, you're going to replace the black people who worked at your business with migrants because you don't want to have to deal with the blacks. Much as you'll say all day long, Black Lives Matter, oh, we love blacks, bring a black business or whatever. In reality, they don't want to deal with the blacks. They just won't say it. They won't say it, which is quite literally the most racist at all. They won't say it. And I see it. I see so much out here when I'm driving and see it through the eyes, and I see what's happening, and I'll state the obvious. It doesn't make me a racist to state facts.
Yeah, a lot of our problems in America seems to be that nobody wants to talk about them. And when we do talk about them, it's ignoring the cause or specific things in it due to somebody's race or their religion or anything like that. And it's very strange because it seems to be making the problems worse for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to state the issues. When people are talking about, what is it, 13, 14, whatever, I can't remember, 13% commit 85% of the violent crimes, et cetera, et cetera. It's statistics. I do statistics for a living and statistics are real. You can't fix a problem until you identify the problem. And the biggest issue is a cultural war. It is a cultural war. It's not a racial war, really. It is a cultural war. And the generalization, because I deal with the generalization that everybody thinks is I'm gay, that I'm part of this homo globo agenda bullshit. That would be like saying that every black person is part of this, ghetto culture or whatever, or every Jewish person is part of this Jewish whatever takeover deep state crap. It's generalization. So there's people out there, quite literally out there, that are fighting against their own so-called communities, like I do fight against the gay community, and there's black people that are fighting against the so-called black community who are fighting this cultural war. And people who are who go right, need to start actually recognizing that and supporting what we're trying to do. The only way you can fix a bad culture is from within. The log cabin Republicans, what do? They joined the Republican Party because it was called inclusion from within. You fight the so-called enemy or whatever, people you disagree with from within. Why do I get on Telegram and join so many groups and I hit all this anti-gay hate, and stuff? Is because I am confronting the enemy from within, so I can try to change a few names.
It's interesting that you say that because I follow your Telegram channel, and you've been having a bit of this feud with Milo Yiannopoulos. And I'm going to be full disclosure, I do like Milo. I don't agree with everything he does, but he's a very fun and witty guy. And one of the big things I think that he's doing that's good is the gay conversion therapy. And, Catholicism.
You mean the tranny?
To his face.
The transsexual.
So I'm wondering, like, what is you're trying to fight against these the anti-gay or the far left gays, and here's Milo. He's up in the front. He's very, very much a new age conservative. He's definitely not a paleo-con, but he's a new age conservative, and he's trying to do the best that he can for Catholicism.
I don't know. He's a troll. He's quite literally a troll. That's what bothers me about it. I don't see any sincereness in what he's doing at all. I absolutely do not believe that he is so-called straight. Now, when he broke it down in his whole grift, per se, about opening a conversion camp, that was broken down to the fact, and it's kind of weird that he broke down that what he's trying to do is trying to get gay people to not necessarily not be gay anymore, but to quit being a global homo gay and to quit being like a leftist gay and to kind of like calm down, you know, and be better with their lives. And I'm like, okay, well, you just tried to say that you debunked the fact that gays can go right and gays can be conservative, yet that is actually what you say you're trying to do. And that doesn't make any damn sense. Me and him are trying to do the same thing, but he's doing this I'm straight kind of thing. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not straight. You're working against me, but yet working for us at the same time. It's very, very confusing. And to me, it just seems like you're just trying to do it for attention. I'm so upset the fact that the man had the power and he has the platform, and it's squandered on bullshittery, just bullshittery. And unless you followed him a lot, you won't really understand what he's doing. And I do understand what he's doing. Not a lot of people do. I'm sure you probably understand what he's doing. But when people will go, well, Milo's straight now. I'm like, yeah, Milo's not straight now. He's making a commentary. It's a social commentary on transsexualism, really. I think that's a little bit of it.
From an outside looking in, and we're not texting buddies or anything, Milo and I, but it does seem like this is more about his immortal soul than it is about politics.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think that's an act. It's a straight up act.
Now, would you be interested in trying out his conversion therapy if you were able to go? Would you try to see what it is?
No, I don't believe. Look, we can have arguments all day on the religious aspects of being gay or going to hell, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I don't think that sexuality, honestly, is any sexuality, heterosexual or homosexual. I don't believe in it being anything but natural and of God and not a sin, period. And we could debate that all day long. I told you before, I don't really want to debate it because it's it's circular. You can't really debate the Bible. The Bible's set and people believe what they believe.
It seems pretty clear about homosexuality and sin. So I was wondering if you could expand.
It can be clear on the person who reads it. And I read into it differently than other people. And that's why there's quite literally so many different religions out there. And in one Bible and many different ways that people interpret it. So I interpret it a different way. I go by certain, basically I'm as a Catholic, we're really only supposed to be going by the New Testament. And other than maybe one passage about, I didn't come here to take away the old law that supposedly Jesus said, there's really nothing about homosexuality in the New Testament. And when I've gone to Catholic church, we don't talk about homosexuals, but other Catholic churches do. Some churches are cool with gays. Some churches are against gays. It's not a right and left issue, honestly, because there's a lot of Democrat left-leaning black churches absolutely condemn the hell out of gays. So it's not even a conservative issue or a Democrat or progressive issue. Both right and left people don't like homosexuals, period. And so it's not even a right and left issue. But the left have learned how to use gays to their advantage. And if you see most of things on TV, it's some flaming gay person, working for the left, making the whole communities look bad. And I'm like sitting here fighting, going, look, that is not the gay community. Now, when it comes to,
What about Lady Maga? I mean, that is pretty flaming.
Lady Maga is a friend of mine. Ryan is a friend of mine. In Out of Drag, he's like a regular guy. I don't know if he's super flaming.
No, I've seen his videos Out of Drag. He's
well, yeah. I mean, he's got. I've seen more feminism actually from other people. I think he's kind of a butch femme, if anything. But I see what he's trying to do. He was a drag queen. He was tired of drag queens being completely leftist, like way out leftist. There was a time where drag queens have always been kind of forefront in gay rights, but they were never really one political side. And now they've gotten themselves so politically involved with the transsexual movements and all this bullcrap with the drag king story hour and pedophilia and shit like that, then I see Ryan as like, no, drag queens shouldn't be involved in this shit. Drag queen's been a part of gay culture for a long time, and it's not leftist gay culture. It's just culture, gay culture. It's been our entertainment, you know, just like, you know, we've had it. So he's trying to take back drag, and he's a drag queen. He's not a transsexual or a woman or whatever. He's Ryan, and he's a drag queen, you know, and he's trying to take it back from the drag community. So that's why I'm trying to take back the gay community back to where it used to be, or where it was actually really about what it was supposed to be about: our rights, our community, our human rights. And the fact is, they don't care. It was just more like a hate Trump, hate the Republicans, hate Christians, and that's what they've tried to turn the gay community into. And it's sad that they've done this, and I'm trying hard. Now, it doesn't make it easy when I do confront Christians who will just condemn me to hell. And to me, my faith with Jesus is that I go through him to heaven, and that he and Jesus, God is who judges me, and that man doesn't judge me. So I get very defensive when people judge me.
I would be remiss if I did not warn you about the homosexual sin.
I understand your stance. I understand a lot of people's stances. My whole goal is, I think, to educate people who have happened to walk away, the gays who are gone right, to kind of look past that we will find Republicans who quite literally think that we're going to hell. Now, I also have to recognize that most of the Republicans are people on the right who think that homosexuals are going to hell. You're not mad at us. You're trying to save our soul. I can tell you that. You're at least trying to save our soul. You're not just saying, I hate you. You're saying, well, I want to save your soul. So I completely understand that. Give you props for that. But I want to let these right-leaning gays know that don't go back left because you get frightened by, you know, some religious person on the right. Because there's just as many religious persons on the left that hate you just as equally, and they really just hate you. They want you to burn in hell. Like they say, they want you to burn in hell. But at least the people on the left, on the right, doesn't you seem to say you want it? They want us to burn in hell. They're worried that we might burn in hell, and they want to save our soul. So it's a little bit of a difference there on things now. But at the same time, some people, I've had one preacher I had to confront, is that he spent almost his whole preacherdom or whatever, his career, preaching anti-homosexual, you know, just that was his only thing. And I'm like, of the Bible, is that the only thing you can get out of the Bible? You can't preach other things, and then you get mad when homosexuals want to beat the shit out of you, you know, because you pretty much told me go to hell, and you don't think I'm not going to be pissed off about it? So I'm like, I've told this before, the Bible can be used as a tool for hate and bigotry and damnation, or it can be used as a tool for love and understanding and unity and salvation. It depends on who is reading and interpreting the Bible and who's using the Bible. And it's a very interpretive thing. Any verses can be interpreted in different ways, just like Leviticus has been used a lot. But the problem with that is you cherry pick one thing out of Leviticus and completely ignore all the other horrible things in Leviticus.
Well, I don't think there's anything horrible at all in the Bible. I think
it talks about killing. It talks about enslaving people, killing your women for speaking, you know, killing your neighbors, you know, sacrificing children.
We should read the Bible together sometime, because I do not.
I can turn to Leviticus and just go to different things and go, oh my God, you know, it's like an eye for an eye. It's old Jewish law. It's old Jewish law, which is also the same equivalent of Sharia law, you know, at the end of the day. That's why I throw Leviticus out as a quote.
Now, I heard a pastor, he made a really good point about the Old Testament and the New Testament. He said in the Old Testament, people like homosexuals, you would kill them, but the New Testament gave them a chance for redemption. And that's why I really like what Milo is doing, because God said, you know, you don't have to be killing these people anymore, but you do need to be showing them the right path to walk. And then Milo, he's lived a very sinful life, and he's making an effort to live a more Christian life.
I don't know. I don't think Milo has changed one bit. Honestly.
We'll have to see. We'll see. And then if he doesn't, you come back and say you told me so.
Well,
you gotta promise if he does, you gotta let me say it to you. I told you so.
I don't think we'll ever find out one way or the other. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for that text message for him to go in 0 days since last time I had sodomy.
Oh man, yeah. So
we're waiting for that one.
For people who don't know, Milo was giving an update. I think it was a near daily or a weekly update about
every once in a while
about his abstination from homosexuality.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried that this John fellow left him, and this is his way of retaliation. Honestly,
I don't know.
Nobody knows. I mean, nobody really knows his personal life per se, other than when he says this. And I feel like it's sad for him that if he's serious, more power to him. But if this is just some way of getting attention and just bullshit and a giant troll, the fact that people are latching on and congratulating him his straight, he's actually pigeonholed himself. And as I told him, you jumped the shark, because you have really done everything. And this is about it. You know what I'm saying? This is it. And if this is bullshit, if this is complete bullshit, you're going to ruin yourself even more. Nobody's going to ever take the guy any seriously over this. I think he might. Honestly, it's sad because he probably started it as a joke, and people have took on to it too good, and now he's stuck. But if he wants to live a so-called straighter life, more power to him. I've said it before. In reality, I kind of live a straighter life than Milo has ever lived, because I'm with my partner for 25 years, and I didn't do nearly anything that Milo's done in his years. And, so I'm very conservative, and I'm the straightest gay guy you'll probably ever meet. And Milo's probably the gayest straight guy you've ever met. Then.
It's an interesting way to put it. Well, I like.
Did you see the picture Did you see the picture I sent him the other day? You probably didn't see it. Where I found.
Why you gotta be so mean to that guy?
No. This was the hey, I found you a place to shop, and it was National Pond, and it said Louis Vuitton on sale.
Oh yeah.
I was like, now that you're straight, you can shop at the pawn shop.
That's mean to straight people.
Oh well, tough.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna wrap
I'm
it up.
straightophobic, heterophobic, I guess.
Yeah, you are. You want to plug your channels? Plug your stuff real quick. We're gonna wrap up the interview.
Yeah. So I've got my main channel, which is at Real Peter Boykin. Some other people have created some kind of parody of me.
Yeah,
somebody went on. It was kind of funny.
Want people to look at.
Yeah, I don't even know the address for that one, but at Real Peter Boykin, that's also connected to the GoRight channel. I also have another channel at MAGA First News, which is part of GoRight News, and that connects to Donald Trump Patriot. Both of those groups are growing like wildfire.
Yeah, you have a pretty good sized group.
It's crazy how they're growing. And only thing I do is I kick out anything that's like those stupid spams that have anything to do with buying stocks or whatever, and anything that's extremely like bigoted or anything that I catch. I don't have all day to sit there and wait around and look. I got a couple of admins in there now, but I'm not I'm not really like taking everything down, and I'm trying to leave everything. There's not a lot of chat going on, a lot of link posting and everything. It's probably the reason why it might be growing, because a lot of other channels are like, don't post in this room, quit pushing your spam. I'm like, post as much stuff as you want, promote yourself, get your channels out there. That's what my channel's, main for it. If we can get some more people to chat in there, that's great. I'm kind of hoping that we'll probably have some live, maybe podcast type, interview things in the chat room, the voice room. I'm hoping that Telegram eventually adds a streaming service to it, so that I can stream my videos, maybe in the future. But I can be found on all my videos. I can be found on Spreaker, because I do audio podcasts. That's very popular, pretty close to being probably a prime podcast. That's my goal is for that. We've got GoRightNews.com, which I post news on the regular now. I had to redo all the websites because there was a mix-up and the whole servers got deleted. So I have to redo everything. So it took me a little while. We're going to be launching GoRight Radio pretty soon, which hopefully I'll get more podcasts on as well. It was also the home of InfoWars as well. I don't know how much InfoWars I'll keep on it, because that's, another game. Just pretty much Telegram. So I'm on Gab Television, on BitChute. I'm on PolitiChatter, Gab, Instagram. We do have a Twitter, even though I can't have a main Twitter. I used to be verified, but got kicked off for spam. I don't know. It's weird. And I'm hoping that possibly in the future I'll run for senator or congressperson here in North Carolina, because I'm already doxxed. People already know everything about me from already running anyway. So there's not much more anybody can really exploit about me, and there's nobody can really go after me because I expose me. And it makes it hard for me to have a job in my field. I've got 2 master's degrees in IT, can't get a damn job in it. But it's not just because I'm out now. It's been going on for a long time. And I'll throw rallies and people know who I am. So, businesses, that whole council culture, you apply for a job, they look and Google search you, and boom, you're not going to be hired. Especially the whole, I've been labeled I'm anti-trans just because I said that the gay communities need to actually care about their rights and not give everything up for the transsexuals' rights, because they have their own community. We can support them, but we shouldn't give up all our rights we worked hard for to bend over backwards to get the transsexuals everything that they want. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to give a damn about us, and they won't.
It's very white American thinking. Very white America.
Yeah. So, it's America first, and myself first, really, at the end of the day. So you got to care about yourself. Even the Bible said, take care of your take care of your own family before you take care of others. So you've got to take care of yourself and make sure yourself is taken care of before you can help others. Because learn it. You go on an airplane. What's the first thing it tells you when the oxygen mask drop down? Put the damn oxygen mask on yourself first before you touch anybody else. Because if you're dead, you can't help anybody else. It's pure and simple. So end of the day, America first is right. And if China first, it makes sense. If Korea first, it makes sense. If Iran is Iran first, it makes sense. We got to remember that every other country is like a competing brand. Donald Trump understood that. America is a corporation in a sense. And we have our product. We have our GDP, and we have to work and look out for ourselves. If I'm in Congress or a senator or a congressperson, I have to look out for my district, my state first. You have to look out for yourself first and who you represent.
It's a good point. That's a good place to end on it. I want to thank you so much for coming on. We have a time. We have a time limit. That's why I'm pushing you.
Yeah.